Hello there everyone, welcome back to another video about a children's trading card game, and today it is a Battle Spirits Saga video. We have had a week's worth of card reveals, and the way it is lined up, there are I think 4 X-Rares we're going to be talking about today for between purple and white, and they are absolutely crazy as usual. These card reveals are looking nuts, white in particular. Absolutely insane. I hope you guys are excited. If you are, please do like the video and subscribe to the channel for more Battle Spirits Saga content. 80% of you who watch these videos are not subscribed, so I would appreciate it if you hit that button, because I'd be at 10k, and that'd be pretty cool. So let's go ahead and jump into the video. We begin with Evil King Cursed Dragons. This is an 8 with 3 reductions, undead. When summoned, remove 1 core from each other spirit, from all other spirits, and place them into their owner's reserves. Then, place a core from the void onto this spirit for each spirit destroyed by this effect. This is an interesting card. So immediately you think, okay, well my opponent can just play around it really easily by making sure they have at least 2 cores on each of their spirits, and they're probably going to want to do that anyway, because they are up against purple. They're going to know that there's going to be that sort of core removal and destruction via that method. Worth saying, depletion does not exist in Battle Spirits Saga. So I think this is something that I should clarify, because I'll have mentioned this in previous videos, and a lot of content creators will have mentioned this previously before the rules got shown. But depletion is something that happens in the Japanese version of the game. When you remove all the cores from a unit, it's depleted. It is a distinct method of removal from the board to destruction. However, in this game, destruction is the same as depletion, which means any on-destruction effect is immediately better in Battle Spirits Saga, because you also trigger it via core removal. So that's something to keep in mind. So therefore, obviously this is gonna... Obviously that makes sense here, because otherwise this would be a nothing burger of an effect. You'd be like, okay, well, I mean, how do I do that? So clearly that matters here. But another reason this effect is very good is because you can actually just do it on your own things, right? So you can, if you've got a board of small things or things you don't need, or things you don't need, you just want to ramp, you can just move your cores around a little bit. So there's 2-3 things maybe you just want to get rid of, and then go, okay, they're gone now, bye, and suddenly you just ramped 3. And that can be particularly really nice. It levels us up to level 2, potentially, when you can then use the when the spirit attacks to select one of your opponent's spirits and remove all but 1 core from it and place it into the reserve. So this is, again, another very, very powerful effect here. And remembering that cores can be used to pay for things, this, again, becomes very, very powerful, because you are also removing not only your opponent's spirits effects, not only making it easier for you to remove them, but you're also making it more difficult for your opponent to interact with you. So I think this is a potentially very, very, very powerful card. Next, we've got Scythejaw. This is just a vanilla, though an easy one to get out onto the board with big reductions, so there's potentially that. Though, I mean, again, like, you know, that many reductions, that high cost for just one, it can be a little iffy, but we're not going to talk about vanillas too much. Then we've got Dark Knight Palamedes. This is a 4 with 1 reduction. When the spirit attacks, select one of your opponent's exhausted spirits. You may attack that spirit. The problem with this card is you're playing this for at least 3, and it's a 4-2, which is really bad. It's a 5-4, which is better, but then it's 6 cores to make it level 3, to the point where it, like, kind of does anything. And I don't know, a 5-4 that gets to attack one of your opponent's exhausted spirits doesn't seem particularly good to me, so I don't think this is great. Deadly Balance. This card is insane. Your opponent selects one of their spirits, then select one of your spirits. Destroy both spirits. So you can use this if you don't have any spirits on the board. That's fine. You don't have to be able to do both parts of the effect, and, you know, even hard playing this for 3 is insanely good. Playing this for 1 is ridiculous. This card is all kinds of insane. It's just such high value. There's going to be, you know, this is a really high skill cap card, because the way in which you use it, the timing in which you use it, is going to significantly increase or decrease its value. This is just a phenomenal card. I can't see this not being a staple of basically in every purple deck. I can see this being splashed into other colors as well, because of how cheap it is. This seems really, really, really good. Dark Bishop Baculus. This is a 6 with 2 reductions, undead. When summoned, remove all but 1 core from all spirits and place them into their owner's reserve. So this is just a straight up, like, wipe of any excess cores your opponent may have put down. This can be a really nice combo card with your units that are removing cores. This can be a really nice combo card. Just in general, if your opponent is kind of relying on using the cores on their spirits to pay for stuff, this can just absolutely ruin their day. And I think it's cheap enough, right, where it can be a 5-4, but it can also be a 7-6. And a 7-6 is okay. A 5-4 is, you know, it's still fine, but the 7-6 is like decent. Obviously, the fact you're just getting it at all levels is really, really nice. And the level 3 is not too expensive. You know, that's all right. A 9-9 is, you know, on curve. I think this is quite a powerful card that you can use in combos. Illusiona, this is another vanilla. We will not bother talking about it. It's 2-3 sets. Good stats. Abandon Guillotine. This is a 4-cost Nexus with 2 reductions. During your attack step, all your Shadow Spirits gain 2000 BP. That's a lot. That is a lot. So this is potentially really quite good, especially if you get 2 of them. Now you're talking about big numbers. During your start step, if none of your opponent's spirits are exhausted, select one of them, remove all but one of its cores, and place them into your opponent's reserve. So this is interesting. You have to commit to it before, right? And you need to be in a situation where your opponent has decided not to attack. However, you can potentially engineer this situation through a combination of removal and stuff, but you know, your opponent's going to know, right? You have to commit the core on your turn. You can't just do it during your opponent's turn. So they're going to know this is something they need to be aware of, and it's going to mess with them. So my inclination is that level 2 effect doesn't really matter. You're mainly using this for the level 1. And in a shadow deck, this seems quite good, but outside of a shadow deck, this seems really not very useful. Dark Matter. 2 reductions on this 4-cost spell. Burst. When you lose life, select a spirit card that costs 4 or fewer from your trash and return it to your hand. So that's pretty decent. Main, select an exhausted spirit that costs 4 or fewer and destroy it. So this seems like it might be really, really good. Now, I'm going to contextualize this by pointing out that there's another 4-cost burst when you lose life that we're going to talk about later on in this video that is the most staple 4 of in literally every deck I've ever seen. And I really do mean that, right? More than the draw 4, more than the ramp 2, no, like the most staple. This is potentially very, very good. In particular, it seems good into those yellow matchups, right? So I think this is more of a side deck card. Because it is nice, it is good, but I think by nature of the fact that it is restricted to 4 or lower, it's not going to be amazing into white, it's not going to be amazing into red. Decent into red. Then we got Devilish Prankster Imp. This is a 2 with 1 reduction. Nightling. During your attack step, select one of your opponent's spirits. When one of your shadow spirits reduces your opponent's life, remove a core from it and place it into your opponent's reserve. This seems like it could actually be really, really annoying. If you're just throwing attacks in and eventually like your opponent just takes one, if you've got multiple of these, this could be really, really annoying. It also just existing, it's going to threaten your opponent's like stuff they leave at level 1. They're just going to have to always commit cores to it. So I think this is actually quite good, but I don't know. It is cheap. It's cheap. You can get on the board easy, and it seems like it's going to be really, really annoying. Then that's the end of purple. We're on to white. So we start with a vanilla here. It's cheap, so that's good. Another vanilla, again, cheap. But we also have the last purple card here, which is Ancient Amethyst Palace. 3 with 2 reductions, so potentially very cheap. When placed, discard the top card of your deck. If it is not a spirit card, select one of your opponent's spirits, remove a core from it, and place it into their reserve. So it's a mill, which odds are you're going to whiff. So it's more likely to be a spirit than not from what I've seen from Japanese decks, so and then at level 2, during your turn when one of your purple spirits is destroyed, select one of your opponent's spirits, remove a core from it and place it into their reserve. Now, this effect is the real reason you're using this card, and you can imagine a situation with 1, 2, 3, 4 of these on the board. Every time you block, suddenly your opponent's just losing everything. So this is incredibly powerful for that reason, and I do think this is going to see play. It just seems like that's such a powerful disruption effect, where it heavily punishes your opponent for doing anything, if you get multiple out. And it's not even that expensive, right? Like you can play this for 1, and then, you know, once you've got a couple of these on the board, then you can potentially just start slinging cores onto it and your opponent's in a bad situation. But I don't know. Maybe I'm overrating this, but it seems like it should be quite good. We also got, sorry, we're not done with purple just yet. Phantasm Arch King Xenas. This is a 7 with 4 reductions. When it attacks, it has Curse. So this is a big dude with Curse. Though obviously for it to be any good, you are need to play it for a 7/8 for those big stats. So obviously, you know, you can play it as a 4/4. And at level 2, though, all your spirits with Curse cannot be blocked by opponent's level 1 spirits, so suddenly you're forcing your opponent to either take damage or trade up into value. This seems like it's going to be a nice inclusion at a couple copies into this Curse-based deck, just to really put pressure on your opponent. And then we've got Earth Spider Demon. This is a 4 with 2 reductions. When the spirit attacks, if it has a core on it, select one of your opponent's spirits, remove a core from it. So the soul core, sorry. Remove a core from it and place it into their reserve. This seems like it could be quite annoying. Not really well traded. It doesn't strike me as particularly busted. It seems decent. On to white proper. Gun Knight Heavy Barrel. This is a 4 with 2 reductions mecha. When destroyed by opponents, select one of your opponent's spirits with a when summoned effect and return to the bottom of their deck. Again, this is, as we see more when summoned effects become part of the format, this is going to be crazy. And this kind of is giving you value whenever, because you can just block with it, throw it away, and your opponent is just neg-1ing. And I think this is quite a good card, and it is mecha traded. I think this is quite good. Then we've got Type 90 Tankmobile. This is a 5 with 2 reductions mecha. So the stats are decent. At level 1, you get armor, red and white. This is a really powerful keyword. Cannot be selected by the effects of your opponent's spirits, nexus, or magic of the specified colors, right? Red and white. So obviously, very, very scary. And at level 2, you also gain armor to purple. And this is when these kind of effects get very powerful, because purple is probably going to be your worst nightmare as a white player, outside of some of the cards that yellow has access to at the moment. But because obviously, you know, red forcing you to block, you probably don't really mind. Like, you kind of like that as white. But purple, just removing your cores and hard removing you that way, not ideal. So I think this is going to be one of those ones where you probably side deck it for the purple matchup, but this seems really, really good in that matchup. Counter Sword. Burst, when your opponent resolves a spirit's when summoned effect, select one of your opponent's spirits and return it to the top of their deck. You may then play this card's cost to activate its main effect. Place a core from the void into your life. This seems insane. This is not the card I was talking about, but this seems insane. So if you play this for 2, this is unbelievably cracked, right? It ramps you 1, it ramps you into your life, right? You can heal above 5, by the way. So this ramps into your life, which is insane, because then you can just take the damage and it's fine. On top of that, the fact that you just top deck anything, this is insane. This is so strong, and ultimately you can just play it. If you want to heal, you can just play it and heal for 2 potentially. This seems so good. I really do feel like this is going to be a staple for off, but I don't know. Deck building in this game, I'm going to have to get good at it. Then we've got Suppression. 4 with 2 reductions, main flash, select 1 spirit, against 3000 BP during this turn. If you spend a soul core as part of this card's cost, that spirit can block while exhausted. This is crazy, right? Because we know that there's a particular card, the starter deck X-Rare, which can't be destroyed, right? When the second you block with it, it's not going anywhere. So you just give something 3000 BP. It doesn't even need to be that card. It doesn't. You make it the card you've just blocked with, right? And then you can just block every single one of your opponent's attacks. You're not losing that spirit. Sorry, I can't remember the name. It's the extra from the starter deck. And then you burn to your opponent at the end of the turn because you haven't taken any damage. This is crazy combo. This seems incredibly powerful. Then we've got our next X-Rare. We have got Dual Gun Mechlord Dirham Diner. This is a mecha 7 with 4 reductions. At all levels, when the spirit attacks, pay the spirit's soul core to select one of your white spirits for each nexus either player controls. The selected spirit cannot be blocked during this turn. So, later on in the game, you just slam this down and you go, right, no blockers, it's over. And that is nuts powerful. This is an absolutely crazy finisher card. As long as you have a board established of even a few units, you're just closing out the game. So this is incredibly good. Well, you're closing out the game potentially. There's a card we're going to talk about soon. So this is incredible. During either attack step, when the spirit would be destroyed by your opponent's effect, you may pay a core to keep it on the field refreshed. You can pay that core from anywhere. So this is just, it's not going anywhere. This is so strong. I mean, this is so good. And very efficient in stats as well, because you can play this as a 4/6. Oh my god, a 4/6, bro, a 6/8. Oh my god, bro, an 8/10. This is so good, so good. Then we've got Fortress God Knight Odin Type X. 5 with 3 reductions. During your opponent's attack step, if you control a white nexus, refresh the spirit at the start of the step, so you can swing with it absolutely guilt-free and then get to use it as a blocker. That's nice. When the spirit attacks or blocks, you may select an opponent's spirit that costs 3 or fewer and return it to the hand. So obviously this card is very strong. Being able to get that effect on both players' turns, being able to bounce your opponent's blockers, being able to bounce your opponent's attackers when you use this card to block with. Very good. Then we've got Infinity Mothership. This is an expensive nexus at 5 with 2 reductions, but, you know, it's pretty good. During your opponent's attack step, at the start of the step, place all cores from your trash into your reserve. So you can just suddenly have unlimited cores to spend on anything you want. And then during your core step, if you control a mecha spirit, gain 2 cores during your core step instead of 1. Oh my god. Oh my god. If you can establish this like turn 1, turn 2, this is going to be nuts so fast. Potentially a card worth mulliganing for. Obviously you have to use it in a mecha based deck, but damn, this card seems crazy. I mean, I think this is incredibly powerful. Then we've got Sky Dragonlord Platinum, aka Omnimod at home. When summoned, return all spirits with 3,000 or fewer BP to their owner's hands. This is your fuck you to yellow that goes into the side deck. Heavy Tank Curiosity. This is a 3 with 2 reductions for Mecha, so you can play that for cheap during either attack step, and you're bearing in mind you're getting this as a 2/4, basically. When your Mecha Spirits would be destroyed by your opponent's destruction effects, they remain on the field exhausted instead. That's pretty damn good. I really like this card. I think it's something you can play out for, you play out cheap. It's efficient in terms of stats, and it's got a very nice effect. I think this is really, really good in the Mecha deck. Dinosaur Harrier Turbo Rex, another X rare. This is a Machine Beast, so now we've got the extra for the Machine Beast deck, 6 with 3 reductions. Ascend costs 3 or more, so as an additional summon cost, you must place all cores from one of your spirits that cost 3 or more into your reserve, so you're basically sacrificing something else as well. That's part of why this is so cheap. At all levels during your opponent's attack step, you may select one of your opponent's spirits at the start of the step. If possible, that spirit must attack first this step, so this is potentially very, very good in absolutely ruining your opponent's day, forcing them to attack with something they absolutely cannot lose, and then blocking and then buffing your unit up so it's destroyed by battle. That's potentially very, very good. When the spirit attacks, select one of your opponent's spirits that does not have Ascend and bounce it to the hand. So this is blanket bounce basically anything outside of, at the moment, Seaworm Nova and this card. And there might be one other card. This is very, 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 very strong. Generic as well. You can put this in any white deck and it's going to do bits. I think this is a very, very powerful card. Then we get Buster Fenrir Cannon. This is a 5, 2 reductions Machine Beast. When the spirit blocks, return all your opponent's spirits that cost 2 or fewer to the hand. Again, this is going to be a staple in the side deck to out that yellow matchup, because this just says absolutely fuck you to yellow rush. This is super good. Then we got Raccoon Guard. The boy just do be vibing. Steam Otter. The boy do also be vibing. But this is actually quite a nice card because it's a 3/1, but when you block it's a 3/5, and it's a 4/3, when you block it's a 4/7. I think this is really efficient, and you probably just play it in Machine Beast for that reason. I think it's quite good. Then we've got Cannon Beast Mech Lyamail, 4 with 2 reductions. Machine Beast has armor purple. This is really nice. And then when the spirit blocks, select one of your opponent's spirits that cost 2 or fewer and return to the top of the deck. So again, really nice into dealing with those cheap things, particularly good against yellow, but also having that armor against purple, making it a versatile card for the Machine Beast deck. Dream Blizzard, 4 with 2 reductions. Main return all Nexuses to their owner's hands, and then main and flash select one spirit against 3,000 BP during this turn. But obviously this is intensely powerful because you can play out all your cards, take advantage of your Nexus reductions, and then just go boom, bounce them all. And that can really mess up your opponent's turn. I think this is really, really strong. Because my understanding is you play a lot of Nexuses to take advantage of those reductions, to consistently have that. And obviously because Nexuses have such powerful effects, being able to just go, nope, put them back is crazy. Pegasione. This is a 3 with 1 reduction, so quite cheap. Armor, red and purple. This is really nice. And then during the opponent's attack step at level 2 and 3, if the spirit has a soul core on it, it can block your opponent's spirits with 2 or fewer cores on them, even if exhausted. So this is really, really nice. You get to swing with it. If it's got a soul core on it, which is going to be really, really cheap, right? You're going to be basically getting a 3/4 blocker that you can just chuck in, even though you blocked with it, or you can get 2 blocks with it into 2 of your opponent's cheap things. I think this is really, really nice. I think Machine Beasts are going to enjoy this card. And finally, for that bit, this is not the last card, but this is the one that is absolutely crazy. Absolute Ice Shield. This is a 4 with 1 reduction. Burst, when you lose life, place a core from your reserve into your life. You may then pay this card's cost to activate its flash effect. Flash, when this battle ends, end the attack step. This is a card that has apparently had 50 reprints or something in Japan. This is a staple 4 of in literally every deck. Like, it's a rare, which is going to be a problem, because when I say you need this in every deck, like, every deck, you just end your opponent's attack turn. That turn you were going to die, that turn where your opponent had set literally everything up to kill you, nah. Actually, I don't want to die. This is the most staple 4 of I've ever seen in my entire life. Like, oh my god. Please pick up 4 copies of this. This is absolutely one of, if not the best cards in the game. Staple 4 of every deck. Then we've got Emperador. This is another vanilla Machine Beast, but potentially very, very stat efficient, though obviously a little expensive and, you know, big reductions. Armor Dragonship Enterprise. This is the last X-Rare for white. This is an 8 with 4 reductions. Armor, red, purple, and white. So you can potentially play this as a 5/6 with armor from everything besides yellow. Really nice. At level 2 and 3, when it blocks, you refresh it once per turn, so you're getting 2 blocks out of it. Also, this is really, really good at level 2, because it's a, if you can play it out for 4, it's a 6/9. And, you know, obviously potentially an 8/12, so very, very good with this course. And you get to block with it twice, potentially. And then at level 3, all your spirits gain armor red, white, red, purple, white. So this again seems so good. The white really does seem to have options into absolutely everything. I feel like white's going to be a contender for best deck in the format, though obviously I expect the meta is going to be very, very balanced. But this is the one I look to first, and I go, okay, this is going to be oppressive until people get good at the game, because it just seems to have very easy outs to all these other colors. But this seems incredibly powerful. And again, very splashable, right? Like, this doesn't seem to be any particular attribute restricted. It seems like we're going to be seeing a white good stuff deck, in my opinion. Snowflaken, this is a 3 with 2 reductions to Armor Dragon. Armor Red at level 1 and 2, that's nice. And when the spirit blocks, select one of your opponent's spirits with Confront or Curse and bounce it to the hand. So again, you just can say fuck you to purple and red. That's very, very nice. And Regain is our last card of this video. 4 with 3 reductions, select one of your spirits that is not currently attacking and refresh it. So, yep, this is potentially really, really good on a game-ending turn to just untap your dudes, keep swinging, to survive one of your opponent's onslaught turns, obviously if they don't have an absolute ice shield up. But yeah, overall, another insane week of card reveals. We are really quickly approaching having the full set. So, on my video next week, I'm gonna wait until we just have the last of the cards, I think, because we basically we've got a couple more white cards, I think like 8 or less, so probably in like a day or 2 we'll be done with all the white reveals, and then we've got all of yellow to come, and then after yellow we have everything. I assume they're gonna spend the last few days going into February, the last like 3 to 4 days, potentially week though, revealing all the high rarity cards, the vanity rarities. So I'll make a video on all those after, because obviously we're approaching Treasure Cup season as well for One Piece, so I'm also focusing on that. But yeah, look forward to those, and then once that is done, I'm going to be testing Set 2 of One Piece and Battle Spirit Saga. I'm really excited to get going into that. If you're interested in all those videos, please do subscribe once again. Sorry these videos are so long, but basically there's just a ton of cards. If you enjoyed this, do like the video. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Join my Discord server. We're talking about Battle Spirits, talking about One Piece, talking about all sorts of stuff. If you're interested in Battle Spirits, One Piece, Gate Ruler, subscribe to the channel. I make videos on all those. And that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching once again, and I will see you guys in the next one. Cheers.